So before we go any further, let's look at the difference between imperial and metric units. Units can be classed as those for length, area, capacity and volume, and weight. Now these are either metric or imperial units of measure. If we look at our metric units of measure, for length we have millimetres, centimetres, metres and kilometres. For area, centimetres squared, metres squared, kilometres squared, or even a hectare for larger areas. For weight, we have grams, kilograms and tonnes. And capacity and volume, we would use centimetres cubed, metres cubed, millilitres or litres. Now imperial measures are more old-fashioned traditional units of measure, and for length they would include inch, foot, yard or mile. For area, it would be an acre. For weight, ounces, pounds or tonnes again, but notice the difference in the spelling. And for capacity and volume, pints or gallons. Okay, so now we've seen the different units of measure. What you need to be able to do is, in a question, identify the correct units to use to measure certain things. And that could be in either imperial or metric, or indeed both. So if we look at this question here, it asks us which imperial and metric units would be used to measure the length of a book. Well, in terms of our imperial measure, our old traditional method, the length of the book would be in inches. That's our imperial measure. But our metric measure would be centimetres. So imperial would be inches, metric in centimetres. Now if we have a look at the next one, the weight of a newborn baby. Now weight in imperial and metric, well, our imperial measure would be pounds, or you can use the shorthand, which is LB, and in metric it would be kilograms. And they're both units of weight, one imperial, one metric. The distance, next one, from John O'Groats to Land's End. Because that's quite a significant distance, we wouldn't measure it in inches or centimetres, for example. It's going to be in a much bigger unit of measure. So an imperial unit would be miles. But our metric unit would be kilometres. So centimetres or metres wouldn't be appropriate in this case, and likewise inches wouldn't be appropriate in the imperial case. Miles or kilometres are the best lengths to use. Now the last one asks us to write down the amount of liquid in a bottle of drink. Now, in terms of our imperial measure, any quantity larger than a cup we would call pints. So we'd measure it in pints. Our metric unit, well, there's a couple we could choose from. Bottles of liquid are sometimes measured in either millilitres or litres, depending on the size of the bottle. So either one would be appropriate in that case.